Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the 22nd Annual Candace's Sickle Cell Fund Scholarship Celebration. We've got a great program planned for you, and I really want to thank all of you for being with us today because we know everyone is very busy, so thank you for your time. My name is Nola Justy, and I am speaking with you today because I was fortunate to be a Candace's Sickle Cell Fund Scholarship recipient in 2008 while I was a student studying at the University of Pittsburgh. I also stayed at the University of Pittsburgh to receive my Master's of Public Health degree. Currently, I work at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia as a clinical research team manager in the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, where I oversee a team of research coordinators and research assistants. And I also work for a biotechnology company called Fulcrum Therapeutics, where I serve as the patient advocacy and engagement consultant. As I'm sure many of you know, Candace's Sickle Cell Fund, Inc. is known for giving away scholarships every year to sickle cell patients who are pursuing higher education. They have given away over $100,000 to students pursuing higher education, which is just incredible. Last year, in 2021, they gave away over $10,000. What some of you may know and what some of you may not know is that they also do a lot of other programming, including tutoring, counseling for sickle cell patients, supporting patients who are hospitalized through their Uber Eats program, and they also have a mentorship program. And so what better way to hear about the wonderful work that this wonderful organization does than by hearing from patients themselves through a video. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Crystal, the mother of Joey Cash, who is 9 years old with sickle cell disease. Candace's Sickle Cell Fund has sent balloons and candy to cheer him up after a discharge from a 2-week stay at the hospital. Candace's Sickle Cell Fund also sent me and my family to the movies on spring break and so much more. I don't know any other org who's dedicated to tending to parents' concerns and provides as many activities to patients. Thank you so much for making a big.
Hello. Shout out to Candace and the Sickle Cell Foundation and the 2022 scholarship recipients. I just wanted to make a short video to say thank you to Candace and the Sickle Cell Foundation for all that you have done for me through the years. I love the Sickle Cell Foundation more than I can explain. Candace has been there for me through thick and thin. I love the trips that she blessed me and my daughter with. Last summer, she sent us to, where was it? Sesame Place. It was amazing. My kids always talked about Sesame Place and how they always wanted to go. Truthfully, I couldn't afford it, but Candace, one day, she texted me. She was like, hey, do you want to go to Sesame Place or... I forgot the name of the other place. But of course, we jumped on Sesame Place because it was a 2-day trip and they had a blast and they definitely looking forward to going again. And I also want to say thank you for the massage that she sent me to go and get. I think it was like 2 years ago. Amazing. I've always thought about getting a massage, never made it happen. I guess when I got that text also, I was like, you know what? I always wanted to go, so why not jump on it? Thank you so much. And I just want to God to bless you with much more success and blessings with the Sickle Cell Foundation and all that you have done with us ladies and gentlemen. And we really appreciate it. I can definitely speak to myself when I say that you're definitely a blessing and I appreciate all that you've done for me. Thank you, Candace.
Candace's Sickle Cell Fund allowed me to participate in a program where they partner with Uber Eats to feed people like me after an admission. To be able to receive a hot meal and not feel like a bad parent because I couldn't get up that day to prepare a meal was really a blessing for me. To have 5 days to be able to rest my body, and not just my body, my mind and my spirit weren't struggling because we were having dinners every night. We didn't miss one. I wish that nonprofits can pick up the baton and model their programs after something like this. Or a Candace's Sickle Cell Fund in every state would be just great. Thank you for allowing me to participate.
Hi, I'm Carmen. I have twins, a boy and a girl, 15 years old, both with sickle cell disease. Kansas Sickle Cell Fund provided my family's meals for 1 week after my son had surgery. I was back and forth with my kids in the hospital, and it took off pressure and allowed me to spend more time with my kids, nursing them back to health.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and welcome. The Kansas Sickle Cell Fund, CSCF, its mission is to raise awareness and support people with sickle cell disease by hosting annual fundraising events and providing open forums. CSCS Inc.'s goal is to provide scholarships to college-bound students with sickle cell disease. CSCF Inc. works to fulfill its goal and mission by 1, hosting significant annual events in order to raise funds and grant at least 3 scholarships annually to students with sickle cell disease. Also, conducting an annual blood drive. And finally, delivering a range of community-based events each year to benefit those suffering from sickle cell disease. To date, we have given over $100,000 in scholarships to new and past recipients. CSCF Inc. is offering our fellow warriors in New York City the following: tutoring for students aged from grades 6 to 12, counseling, which we provide 4 sessions, Uber Eats or catered meals for patients that are hospitalized for a week or more, mentoring programs, and lastly, monthly support groups. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frank Tavares Mora. I am a third-year medical student, and I am one of the 2021 scholarship recipients. I would like to introduce a video of Amazon Smile, which is a simple way for you to support Kansas Sickle Cell Fund every time you shop at no additional cost to you. When you shop with Amazon Smile, you'll find the exact same items and prices as shopping from Amazon.com. But with the added benefit that Amazon Smile will donate 0.5% of your eligible purchases to the Kansas Sickle Cell Fund, which is a nonprofit organization. So in order to make the process a little bit simpler for all of us to follow through, here's the video that we'll present with more details.
While I'm sitting here watching TV and shopping on my phone, I like to be productive. So how do I do that? I use Amazon Smile. You see, it's not just about getting those brand new pair of shoes or that brand new jersey that you want to hang on your wall. It's also about doing something for your fellow man. Come on, let me show you what Amazon Smile is all about. So we're going to launch the browser. Here I'm using Safari. We're going to go into the URL and we're going to type in the URL smile.amazon.com. From there, we're going to click Get Started in the center left of the page, and then we're going to type in the organization that we want our proceeds to go to. Here, we're going to use the Kansas Sickle Cell Fund. Now, this is case sensitive, so make sure you speak to the organization and know their exact spelling. Once you find the organization, go ahead and select that, and you should then be prompt to agree to the terms and conditions. From there, you can click Start Shopping, and once you've clicked that button, it will take you to the Amazon homepage. Now, depending on the browser that you use, you can set it up to automatically land in the smile.amazon.com homepage. Look what just came in the mail, a brand new phone. Great, thanks, Amazon. Not only did I get my new phone, but a portion of those proceeds went to the Kansas Sickle Cell Fund, all right from the comfort of my living room. And you can do the same thing yourself. So guys, if you want to learn more about the fight against sickle cell disease and about the Cscf organization, I encourage you to visit kansassicklecellfund.org. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more video content to come with your friends and your loved ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for watching that, everyone. Now we're going to turn it over to Tracy to introduce our donors.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Hamer Griffith, and I was a scholarship recipient in 2004. I now enjoy a fulfilling career in nursing within the fields of critical care and case management. Today, I will introduce this year's donors who made these scholarships possible. Because of donors like you, we've been able to exceed our goals. This has allowed us to expand our services and reach more patients with sickle cell. The following are our 2022 scholarship donors: Mr. David White, Miss Jean DeVoe, Mr. Stuart DeVoe, Miss Stacy DeVoe, Miss Pat Farrar, Miss Peggy Forrest, Miss Elise Rackmill, Miss Dolores Thompson, Mr. Winton Habersham, the Ford Foundation, and the students of Taft Boarding School in Connecticut. Ask how you too can have a scholarship in your name, the name of your company, or as a matching fund. Thank you, Ms. Catherine Young, for your $2,000 donation to our Uber Eats catering services. This program assists patients that have been discharged from the hospital and need assistance with getting back to their daily routines. This can be very difficult considering the intake of heavy narcotics to reduce pain crisis and other complications. Thank you, Dr. Maris, for your $2,000 contribution to our wellness program. Patients are able to connect with a team that understands challenges they may experience firsthand. We will now show a video of some of our 2022 donors.
Hello, my name is David White, and the way I found out about Candace's Sickle Cell Fund was through the way that at Montefiore, when I was working there with the physicians that provide care for the sickle cell community. And the reason why I donate is because it's just important to make sure that our Black and brown brothers and sisters who suffer from this devastating disease know about the accesses that they have to care and to different therapies. And the more they know, the more they'll be informed, and therefore we can help diminish the disparities in the healthcare systems, especially for our Black and brown brothers and sisters who suffer from this devastating disease. So I'd like to thank everyone who's our recipients for the scholarship, for the things that you're doing now and for what you will do in the future. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Angie, and I'm a student at Taft School, and I'm one of the 4 leaders of a club at our school called Mosaics, which is an affinity group for Black and Latinx identifying women at our campus. And basically, our purpose is to empower and uplift each other as women of color in a predominantly white institution. So for one of our events at our school, we have something called Parents Weekend, and it's just a weekend for parents to come and visit their kids and see what's going on at their school. And we have a line of tables that happens in the hallways, and it's just where each club showcases what their purpose is and what they offer. And so we just talked with our group about what we would use with our table, and we decided that we would collect donations for this organization. And we came to this conclusion from just discussing with our group. We asked them what we would like to do with the money that we raised, and we had a student from New York who has a sister who has sickle cell, and so she brought up this organization, and we looked into it together, and then we voted at the end, and we decided that this would be the perfect organization to donate to.
Good afternoon. My name is Peggy Forrest. I met Candace in the late 1970s at St. Luke's Hospital's first sickle cell clinic. Candace, Stephanie Henry, and my daughter, Nakia Malika, were among the first patients to attend the clinic under the care of the late Dr. Doris Weathers and nurse Ivy Buchanan. 20 years ago, in an effort to keep sickle cell awareness alive, Candace, with her infinite zest for advocacy for sickle cell patients, started this venture and developed Candace's Sickle Cell Fund, Inc. Today, I am forever grateful to Candace and her dynamic crew, and am honored to be able to donate a scholarship in memory of my sickle cell warrior, Nakia Malika Tiffany Forrest, affectionately known as Kia, forever 43. To all the scholarship awardees, my prayers go up daily for your strength, comfort, and healing. May God continue to bless you on your courageous journey. God bless.
I just want to say I've known Candace most of my life and heard about the Sickle Cell Fund from my mom, who happens to be on the board. And I decided to give because I admire everything that this fund has done and is continuing to do with the money that they are given. And I want to wish the awardees, the scholarship awardees, nothing but the best. I know you will do great things with the money that you are given, and good luck.
All right, now Dedena will introduce the 2022 scholarship awardees.
Good afternoon. My name is Dedena Odame, and I'm a rising sophomore at the illustrious Howard University. And I was a proud recipient of this award in 2021. This is an exciting time in our program. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our 2022 scholarship recipients. These are students who have sickle cell disease and against all odds have been very fortunate and are able to pursue higher education. Our first awardee is Ivana Nosakare.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathalie Campbell. I am the Vice President of Candace's Sickle Cell Fund. Unfortunately, due to the unpredictability of this disease, Ivana is currently in the hospital, so I will be reading her essay. So here I go. Honestly, how does one even navigate living a life with a terminal illness? Being diagnosed with sickle cell has taught me many life lessons and has given me aspirations to never give up in life. When I grow up, I want to become a pediatric hematologist. Therefore, I'll go to the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, and get a bachelor's in kinesiology and then move on to medical school from there. I suffer because of this illness every day and night, to the time I open my eyes to the morning and then close my eyes at night. Sometimes I feel this everlasting pain flowing through my body, and I just pray and wonder when this will ever end. I can't even function properly without my pain medication sometimes. I feel every bone and every ounce of fiber in my body telling me to rip my skin off to end this pain. I hear my limbs crying, and soon after that, I start to physically and mentally cry. When I'm at school, kids stare at me weirdly because of the way I'm shaped or the way my body moves. I feel the stares of disgust on people's face as I slowly stroll through school. I feel like the biggest loser, and I tend to constantly blame myself for the way I am. But then I remember something my mother said to me. She exclaimed, "Never allow sickle cell to become your weakness, but make it your strength." These words creep at the back of my head whenever I'm feeling sorrowful, but it also pushes me to try harder in life and never let anything as big as sickle cell get me down. My mother will always and forever be my biggest inspiration and supporter. She has been there for me through every procedure and treatment I could remember. She always put herself last and put me first before her own needs. And I will forever be grateful. She's the reason I'm alive and I am who I am today. I will keep pushing on and stay strong academically so I can achieve my goals of becoming a doctor. Congratulations again, Ivana.
Our next awardee is Amatula Tyler.
Hello. At the age of 7, my sister had a stroke while we were at school. Until that day, I never thought about young people having strokes. At first, I didn't know what was happening. On our way home from school, I remember thinking to myself, why is Deej walking like that? I didn't verbalize my concerns and just figured that she'd tripped on the playground and taken a fall. But throughout the day, she limped. And she seemed to rely on her left hand to do things that she would typically rely on her dominant right hand to do. Later that night and early into the next morning, my mother came into our room to wake my sister and I up to use the restroom. She noticed too that my sister was relying on her left hand to perform basic functions. I remember the look on my face, or on my mom's face, as realization seemed to hit her. She had sat Deej down at a desk in our room and handed her a pen and a paper, and then asked her to write her name. Deej grabbed the pen with her left hand and began to scribble. When asked by my mother why she was using her left hand, Deej responded that she didn't know and that her right hand had just stopped working. My mom then called 911 and told them that she believes her daughter had suffered a stroke. That day changed me. Since then, I now know that the illness that my two sisters and I have, sickle cell disease, is the leading cause of stroke in children. I watched my sister's health decline due to her stroke. She continued to lose mobility and would work for years to regain her strength. But the biggest impact is neurocognitive. My sister went from an A/B honor roll to summer school to after school remediation to special education and more because the stroke had completely wiped her out. Since her stroke, she's had to have monthly blood transfusions in order to prevent another stroke, has had about 10 surgeries, one of which was a major brain surgery to repair her damaged blood vessels, too many hospitalizations to count, and more. I'm so proud of her because she worked so hard to overcome her stroke that if you see her today, you would never know that she would ever have one, or that she had ever had one. Watching my sister struggle all those years has inspired me to learn about the workings of the brain. I want to one day be able to help repair the brain like my sister's neurosurgeon did hers. I want to be a part of helping people go from very sick, like my sister was, to regaining, if not all, certainly most of what they lost due to a stroke or other neurological disorders. Receiving Candace's Sickle Cell Fund scholarship will be a huge help to me on my way to becoming a neurosurgeon. My mother is a rock of our family, but however, having three children who all suffer from sickle cell disease has really caused her financial strain. My sickle cell crises typically require me to be in the hospital for at least a week, and over the years, they've caused me to miss many instructional hours. As a result, I am not eligible to receive merit-based scholarships. This experience has inspired me to work hard to provide academic scholarships to students like me, who, in spite of sickle cell disease, dream of going to college, but due to socioeconomic struggles that are associated with sickle cell disease, cannot afford the cost of going to college. While sickle cell disease has affected every aspect of my life, I never expected it to be a reason why I would struggle to go to college. Thank you.
Thank you, Amatula. Our next awardee is Rajane.
If someone asks what my current status would be, what my current status is, I would say excited. I sit here thinking that in approximately 3 months, I will have the opportunity to pursue the next chapter of my life. My education, my life, and life experience in elementary and high school have laid the foundation for me and fueled my passion for what I am looking to pursue in the future. I will be attending Eastern Illinois University in the fall. They are one of the few schools with my major in clinical laboratory science. A quick summary of my life experiences will help you understand my passion for going into clinical laboratory sciences and what it means to me. I was born with sickle cell disease. For those who are not familiar, sickle cell is an inherited blood disorder. It affects the red blood cells by changing to a sickle shape. Due to the shape change, the red blood cells lose their flexibility, becoming hardened, clumping together, thus causing blockage of the blood vessels and affecting the flow of the blood. This in turn causes pain, swelling, and many more complications. These painful episodes can affect any part of the body. The onset, severity, and duration is unpredictable. Yes, it is very painful. Unfortunately, I have suffered a number of pain crises as a result of the disease. It translates to days in the hospital, being in constant pain, often with numerous blood transfusions and pain management options. But I couldn't have done it all without my parents. My parents have been very instrumental in my life, helping me get through these tough crises. Honestly, in the midst of episodes, I just want them to end. After they did, I always had the thought that there had to be a way to prevent others from going through what I had just experienced. I looked into the opportunity for being awarded the Candy Sickle Cell Fund Scholarship as an avenue to aid me in furthering my studies in clinical laboratory science. Obtaining my degree in this field will allow me to identify and treat many diseases, including sickle cell. Despite missing days while in the hospital, I promised myself that I will persevere through my health challenges, excel in school, and stay focused so that I can make a difference and help those who face similar health challenges. I thank you for awarding me this Candace Sickle Cell Fund Scholarship. It will take me one step closer to making my dreams happen.
Thank you, Rashane. Our next awardee is Ellie Alavo.
Hi, my name is Ellie Alohu and I'm a senior in Bronx Academy of Health Career. Health is critical in life and taking care of ourselves is important. Living with sickle cell disease is difficult. As someone with the illness, I'm constantly learning how I can take care of myself and deal with sickle cell disease. I struggle with focusing and staying on track with work and everyday activity in life. I have to work harder and put more effort in everything I do to succeed. It has never been easy or simple. Getting sick and trying to keep up with school has been very difficult. Even when I try to focus and try to get back to school assignments, my stress is always at a high because of how much I have to get done, and I'm constantly tired because I always have to catch up. For example, when I became really sick, I could not attend school for a while. It put me behind that I wanted to give up and repeat the class. But with the help of my parents and teacher, I was able to study and complete my assignment. My parents and family always support and help me all the time, and I'm eternally grateful for them. One of my goals is to go to college and become a lawyer one day. This will allow me to build hospitals in my country, Togo, where it is hard for people to go to the hospital because of the distance and lack of transportation in the community. Most importantly, I want to be happy and live an enjoyable life and richer life. It's a great opportunity to come across this scholarship. I'm very grateful and thankful to receive this award, and I'm very happy to be among such amazing people. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your generous in funding me with the Candy Sickle Cell Fund scholarship that I have received as part of my financial aid. I'm very grateful and I thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ellie. And last but not least, our last awardee is Samia Amin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samia once again, and here's a little bit about my life story. Sickle cell anemia patients are one of the most misunderstood groups in the world. As one of these patients, I endured an incredible amount of pain, hospitalizations, and strict medication regimens over the years. Looking back at my health history, I realized that as a child, I didn't understand what sickle cell was and what it was doing to my body. It was as if I couldn't pinpoint what exactly I was battling internally. And so I was constantly afraid, always taking new medications, visiting new doctors, and having needle after needle pierce my body. I could not advocate for myself. I could not suggest my own treatment, and so I felt powerless. Thankfully, I always had my mother in my corner. Early on, my mother became my biggest support and advocate. She taught me it was okay to say no and stick up for myself. Through her, I learned I was in control of my own health. Academically, I followed the same principle. In the past, if I became hospitalized, my grades will drop. This will cause frustration and making me want to give up. But like my health, I knew I was in control of my grades. So when I became hospitalized, I pushed myself to keep excellent marks in all my classes. Now hard work comes naturally to me. As an inspiring physician, I want to develop deep into the pediatric field and prescribe the right treatment for ill children. I'm committed to serve young patients to overcome their illnesses. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Congratulations to all our 2022 scholarship awardees. Next, we will hear from Nola with an overview on sickle cell disease.
Thank you so much, Dana, for that beautiful introduction. I really want to congratulate the recipients again. When we were listening to the donor video, Peggy Forrest mentioned bravery and courage. And as I was listening to all of the essays, that is really what you all embodied to me. And it makes me feel so optimistic and hopeful for the future, knowing that you are the future leaders in healthcare, in law, and in just in general. So I just want to thank you all again and congratulate you again. To briefly, and also let me say that if anyone has questions as I'm speaking, feel free to put questions into the chat. And when I am finished, I'm happy to try to answer those questions. So I know that Rajane in her comments gave a little bit of some background on sickle cell disease, and I just want to elaborate a little bit further. So sickle cell disease was first described in 1904, almost 120 years ago. It's the most commonly diagnosed and tested disease in the United States, and it's classified in the United States as a rare disease because it affects about 100,000 people. And so in the US, according to the Rare Orphan Disease Act, any disease that affects less than 200,000 people is considered a rare disease. We know a lot about sickle cell, about the pathophysiology, about how it clinically presents, but it's really been over the past 25 years that there have been a lot of progress in terms of sickle cell disease therapies. So in terms of different therapies, this slide really just reviews that we have preventative medications, disease-modifying therapies, and curative therapies. And in this talk today, I'll be really highlighting the disease-modifying therapies and curative therapies. Vaccines, immunizations are really important, like our COVID vaccines, specifically pneumococcus. And then penicillin prophylaxis is used to really prevent infection in young children from birth to about 7 years old. And then folic acid is taken by a lot of sickle cell disease patients because it helps us to create new healthy red blood cells. And so in terms of disease modifying therapies, so blood transfusions are very common in sickle cell disease, particularly if we are very anemic and our hemoglobin is low, but also can be indicated post-stroke to really reduce the amount of sickle cell blood blood cells that are being carried around in the body and to have more healthy blood cells from generous donors. So blood donation is extremely important, and thank you to all of you who donate, and please do spread the word about red blood cell donation. Hydroxyurea for a very long time was the only therapy available, disease-modifying therapy available for a very long time. It was FDA approved in 1998 for adults with sickle cell disease, and it is an oral medication that increases fetal hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin made by babies, and fetal hemoglobin does not have any sickle cell in it, and it actually carries a lot of oxygen. And so for that reason, it decreases complications of sickle cell disease. We also have L-glutamine. Glutamine is very important in the redox reactions that occur in the body. It's an oral powder that can be put in a drink, in water, or on food, and it is shown to reduce pain in sickle cell disease and other complications of sickle cell disease, and L-glutamine was approved by the FDA in 2017. Crizanlizumab, or Adekvio, it is an intravenous infusion. It is a monoclonal antibody, and the way that it works is that it decreases pain in sickle cell patients, and because it reduces the stickiness of the red blood cells, it also is shown to reduce vaso-occlusive episodes in sickle cell patients and other complications. And crizanlizumab was approved in 2019 by the Food and Drug Administration. Voxelotor, also known as Oxbryta, is also an oral medication that increases hemoglobin, and it also increases how hemoglobin holds onto oxygen, which is really good in the body because oxygen is essential for our tissues to be healthy, our blood cells to be healthy. And so having higher amounts of oxygen being carried throughout the blood is a really good thing in sickle cell disease. And it was approved by the Food and Drug Administration in 2019. Next slide. And so here I'll be talking about some of the cures that are available. And I do, before I get into it, just want to point out that of these three, bone marrow transplant is the only cure that is available as part of clinical care. The other two options, gene editing being a specific type of gene therapy, are available through clinical trials or studies. And so participation in research is the only way to access gene therapy or gene editing currently. There are also studies that involve bone marrow transplant as well. So bone marrow transplant is most commonly done in pediatrics. And the reason for that is because outcomes are very, very good in pediatrics and young children for bone marrow transplant. The best way is to have a sibling who is a complete match, and the sibling is able to donate healthy stem cells that get infused via transfusion into a patient. And then the hope is that the stem cells will go into the bone marrow and start producing healthy blood cells that do not have any sickle cell disease in them. And stem cells are a type of cell that can become many different types of cells in our body, including our blood cells. Gene therapy is a way to deliver a healthy and working gene into a cell. So really, it's a way to deliver the cause or the source of a disease, because in sickle cell disease, it is a mutation that is the reason that our blood cells are sickle-shaped instead of being healthy and round-shaped. Gene editing is a specific type of gene therapy. The goal of gene editing is to really edit the DNA to remove the cause of disease and to create healthy blood cells instead of sickle cell. So currently the gene editing therapies that are available through clinical trials are gene addition therapies, where they are attaching a healthy gene in addition to the sickle cell gene that we have so that healthy blood cells can be produced. So this slide was actually adapted from one of my biggest mentors, who is Dr. Frempong. And it really, I just wanted this slide, I won't go through all the numbers, but just to show that we have over 80 therapies in development for sickle cell disease, many different types in the pipeline, and that's wonderful because the hope is that in the future state, sickle cell disease patients will be treated with many different therapies to prevent and also to treat the complications that can come about because of sickle cell disease. Next slide, please. So this is a picture of myself and Dr. Kwaku Ohini Frempong. He is one of my biggest heroes and mentors, and he actually was my pediatric hematologist growing up. A lot of the information that I previously shared, I know because of him. When I was seeing him, he would always say any questions and was really available throughout my whole life. And he recently passed away on May 7th, and he is an absolute giant in the field of hematology and sickle cell. So I wanted to dedicate my remarks to him. And so thank you so much for your comments, and I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. And if there are not, Candace will be our next speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tartania Brown. I'm looking in the chat to see if there's any questions for Nola. I don't see any just yet, but I have a question for you. But before I ask you the question, you're probably like, well, who's talking? Who's this person? Well, my name is Dr. Tartania Brown. I am a past scholarship recipient awardee from 2003 and 2004. Candace Sickle Cell Fund helped me receive money to go to medical school. So I have sickle cell, and I'm also a physician. I'm actually a senior palliative care physician at with Metropolitan Jewish Healthcare Services in New York. So you, Nola, gave a wonderful presentation, and I wanted to thank you so much for all of the great info. But a person with sickle cell disease, or a person that knows someone with sickle cell disease, how could they get that information? Because it was a lot and it was pretty quick. So how could they get it? And also, how would they know what's right for them?
Thank you, Dr. Brown. That's a fantastic question. So I would say that the information that I just shared, I'm happy to share the slides if people want to reach out to me. It is available online. A lot of the information is available in scientific journals, which we access a lot in research and in healthcare, to make sure that when we are finding new discoveries and new medications, that we're sharing and disseminating that information. And I think the biggest thing is to really be in constant contact with your physician and to explain to them that you know that there's research available for sickle cell disease patients and that you would like to talk to them about what options may be available to you. In research, there may be different sites all throughout the country. And so sometimes there may be something right in your hospital where you normally seek your care, or you may have opportunities to travel to participate in a study. But I think research is very important, and certainly your doctor should have additional information for you.
One more question, and I don't see any in the chat. You said research is important. Do you see that a lot of persons with sickle cell disease are a part of research? And do you think that that's an important thing, that we should be a part of research?
It's a great question. So honestly, I think my answer would be yes, but probably not as many as is ideal. So certainly patients of color tend to be underrepresented when we look at who is participating in research. Clinicaltrials.gov is another resource for looking for research that's available to you. And what I would want to say, and actually I wanted to highlight this in my comments, so there are very good reasons why Black and Brown patients would be hesitant to participate in research. We have had in the past, a racist history in this country, and research that was done without being transparent and honest. As someone who works in research today, I can assure patients that transparency is very, very important. It's of the utmost importance to both researchers and physicians, that weighing benefits and risks to research participation, and really in any medication, is absolute of the highest priority. And really it's meant to be a partnership between us as the patients and between our providers, where we are not just listening to what a physician is saying, but really asking questions and making an informed decision. And so I would really want to encourage everyone to absolutely think about participating in research, because it's the only way that we will have new therapies coming available. And while I know the word research may sound scary, I can assure everyone here that it is very thoughtful, it is very rigorous. And the Food and Drug Administration, who I mentioned, approved all of the therapies that are available, look at all of the data and all of the science very closely, as do other experts like Dr. Brown herself, like Dr. Frempong, who took care of me. And so it's something that is looked at very, very closely and is done very meticulously.
I love it. There's actually, thank you so much. There's actually a couple statements in the chat as well as a question. So the statements are really to encourage those who don't have sickle cell to go and donate blood, especially in the Black, Brown, and Indigenous populations. We need your blood. So please donate. Please encourage others who can donate to donate. There's and then there's a question about, is there an age limit to donating bone marrow? I thought that was an interesting question.
It is an interesting question. So I can provide some of my thoughts. I am not a clinician. I'm not a hematologist. However, I was looking into bone marrow transplant through a clinical trial for myself. And I remember that my younger sister was a preferred donor candidate because of her age. So she is 31 years old. And while my parents, who have sickle cell trait and so therefore do not have sickle cell disease, can be donors because of their age. So my mother is maybe 57 or 58, and my dad is 65. And so while they can be donors because of their age, it is preferred to have someone younger. So I think when it comes to transplant, both whether you're a transplant recipient, someone who's going through the process, or a stem cell donor, younger tends to have better outcomes. But certainly if you want to be a donor, I would say look into bethematch.org, and you can provide more, you can receive information there or with your primary care physician.
Match.org and primary physicians. Thank you for all of that wonderful information. I want to also thank everyone for asking questions, for making comments in the chat. And there have been a number of comments congratulating the awardees. I want to congratulate the awardees again myself. On a personal note, you guys rock. I'm so excited to see you all getting and doing big things. I hope that I could be an inspiration, because I was an awardee way back in the day. And now I am a physician and a speaker and advocate. I talk at government all about sickle cell. So it's important. And I'm happy that you all got scholarships and you're all doing big things, and congratulations. I'm now going to turn it over to our wonderful and fabulous president, Candace Delaire. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Dr. Brown. And thank you for this team for pulling together this event. We really appreciate that. I did see someone in the chat say donate blood, and donating blood is extremely important. One person donating will help 3 people. So it's really important. During COVID, people limited going out and donating, and hopefully we get to collaborate with the organization this year to get back into the swing of the donating blood. Good afternoon, I am Candace Delaire, the founder of Candace's Sickle Cell Fund Incorporated. Thank all of you watching. We appreciate your support. Each board member, an advisory board member, here we go, is the backbone of this organization. They play a significant role in making Candace's Sickle Cell Fund a successful nonprofit organization for 22 years. Yes, 22 years. It means a lot to me to watch our past scholarship awardees carry out our program today. I'm listening to the year you received your scholarships. I'm hearing 2004 and 2008 and 2020 and 2021, and it just moves me. And it's something that our organization always wanted, is just some of you are set in your professions, many help, and you're in the helping line of work. So we want to help people, and that is amazing. You're taking the time out of your schedule and you're recognizing the 2022 awardees. Makes our organization proud. We love that you're giving back to us. You are the future of CFCF. With all that we do, many of the emergency departments are not meeting our standards of care. So one of the projects we continue to tackle is assisting patients with advocacy in the emergency room. We have engaged in a collaboration effort with other community-based organizations in meeting with various CEOs of H&H hospitals with the support of Synergy. I mean, you would think that because I advocate for sickle cell that I can go right into the emergency room, get the medication that I deserve so that I can go back to my daily routine. And that absolutely doesn't happen. I was admitted in the hospital in August, and in the emergency room, I was offered something called naproxen, which is a very mild medication. And obviously, if I'm in the hospital, in the emergency room, it's because I've tried that already, and I've tried medications at home and they didn't work. So clearly there's something wrong and something that we need to address. And this is not all emergency rooms. We do have some directors who are making a change, and we are working with those people to help other hospitals make a change. We are still losing patients, kids, teenagers, adults to sickle cell disease. To those who have lost a loved one due to the complications caused by sickle cell disease, we stand with you, and we will continue to fight for proper care. As we come to the closing of our program, and we really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and join us on this Sunday. Donations are key for this organization to thrive. So earlier you heard a mention about Uber Eats program for patients that have been hospitalized. They're discharged, they can't fend for themselves. Sometimes patients are still on opioids. Some patients have to tend to their families again. And families expect them to jump right back into a parent role, or sometimes they're taking care of themselves. Well, the Uber Eats, the catering program helps that. Wellness check-in is big and critical nationwide. And so having sickle cell disease and dealing with the trials and tribulations of life, it's really important that we connect with our patients and we provide the counseling and the wellness that they need. These all cost money. And so your donations help that. What about the parent who stays with their child countless nights in the hospital? They give you this little chair that pushes out into a recliner, and parents sit there day in and day out, waiting for their child to get better. They literally leave to go shower at home and come back. Well, we offer them a spa day. We give them a massage and lunch because this is something that's critical. Patients go through a lot, and parents and families go through a lot. And yes, we send families away to Sesame Place for the weekend, and we do American Dream, because these are things that will lessen the burden of a family with a patient with sickle cell disease. So donate, follow us, tell a friend, and we will have this up as a video during the week, and we would love for you to share it because we feel like this information is important. Patients with sickle cell disease are not heard. And just the fact that you're watching us today, if you can tell a friend and a friend, then we have more supporters. So thank you.